Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and tonight NFL football starts in the United States. We're finally getting back to some kind of normal, and I also have baseball games with my son, so hopefully I'll get to watch the whole game. Now, something was brought to my attention. I showed you in a prior video this thread by AL Crypto _ XRP. And he brought to my attention today that a tweet that I showed from somebody else, they had actually taken the tweet from him in something I showed in my last video. So I wanted to correct that, but I went and found his thread where he brought it up. It's this picture of this International Monetary Fund document. So I wanted to look at his thread. He says, a very good friend of mine printed this technical note of IMF, 17th of July. I showed you this in the last video. Look at this, boom. You still have a doubt about IBM and Ripple working together. It's got RippleNet, IBM, WorldWire, Center, Stablecoin Network. I showed you all that in the last video. And then he's got, after the word IBM, WorldWire appears. Guess who is WorldWire? Stellar. And he's talking about the IBM Stellar partnership. And here on the fourth one, he says, I love connecting dots. I think I'm addicted. Bear in mind that this is the 17th of July update. Can't be found on the web since IMF replaced it with the 10th of August update. And this new update doesn't mention Ripple. I guess my friend did well by printing it. So that's pretty interesting stuff. Now, before I forget, at the end of this video, I was in a conference call where I got to ask Miguel, head of XRP markets at Ripple. Got to ask him a couple of questions, and I've got a great 2-minute video clip where he talks about XRP and what he thinks is going to happen with regard to central banks. You got to see it. Stick around. Okay, but I've got some other great clips before then. This is from XRP Yo-Yo. MasterCard in digital payments. MasterCard, Ripple, PNC Bank, all connected. Hashtag zero doubt. Watch this little commercial here.
At MasterCard, we've seen COVID-19 propel an accelerated shift to digital payments. Our research is showing a massive and sudden move away from cash and a steep increase in e-commerce. MasterCard Digital Enablement Service turns card numbers into tokens that become useless to fraudsters and eliminates the frustration of manually updating your card information. Today, we are live with over 2,600 issuers around the world. We speed up your checkout through our click-to-pay technology. The one-click, password-free checkout experience also uses MasterCard tokenization. More than 10,000 U.S. merchants have been enabled for click-to-pay. And we've designed digital products from the ground up. Our digital-first approach lets cardholders immediately use their digital card with a mobile device. A physical card is optional in many cases. MasterCard has powered the accelerated shift to digital payments, and we continue to innovate with vision and purpose to support our partners and consumers on their journey to a digital future.
There you go. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. Now, Notorious XRP, for those of you that don't follow this guy is, he doesn't get enough attention. At iNotorious XRP, says they're discussing digitalization. What they have in mind are such matters as payment system and the European digital currency. By the way, you can really see all of this, the regulatory clarity. You can just see it all coming together right now. Watch what Christine Lagarde, she's European Central Bank, used to be with the IMF. You've seen the pictures of her in the room with Brad Garlinghouse and people like that.
Give you, I know that you're probably familiar with it already, but mention for all the audience the various work streams that we have, because I think it really demonstrates the scope of our review, and the depth that we want to develop in so doing. So we will cover topics like inflation measurements. That's an important one that is often debated. That's coming up on September 23rd. We will also work on ECB's price stability objective. As I said earlier, it's one of our key focus. Eurosystem modeling, very important in order to identify whether we are capturing all the right ingredients and whether we are working them out in the adequate way. We will also discuss digitalization and the impact that it has from a monetary policy point of view, and I have in mind, obviously, such matters as the payment system, the euro digital currency, possibly. Our topics will include climate change, as those who listen carefully to me. It's a topic that I'm very keen about, which I believe has a systemic dimension that applies actually to price stability. We will include also financial stability and macroprudential policies, non-bank financial intermediation, communication, and the interaction between monetary policy and fiscal policies. Now, I have limited illusion about the absence of leak in all the work that will be done. But my hope is that we can have sufficiently cohesive a process so that we can actually, as we move along, possibly signal directions without actually settling on any particular final considerations, because all these topics actually interact and will matter when it comes to defining our overall strategy. So that's really what I wanted to say about.
All right. And then there was this from I Am Legion. And if you don't follow I Am Legion, go, and you can also follow his Coil blog. But I Am Legion's at Python2684980. He gave me this. Blockchain for Europe. The latest draft of my car reveals that EU plans to set up a new college of supervisors, including national EU authorities to oversee digital currencies. This indicates the significance the EU thinks digital currencies will have in the future. And then they reply to their own tweet. EU Commission's crypto assets draft proposal is expected to be presented in the coming weeks. The EU will become the first major jurisdiction to regulate crypto assets. It's all happening right before our eyes, folks. We saw the legislation here in the Darren DeSoto here in the United States, the congressman. He was tweeting today. You're watching it all unfold right before our eyes. This is the article. Leak EU. It says they're going to they will set up a college of supervisors, and they're going to oversee significant digital currencies, including Facebook's Libra. Wanted to bring that out. Now, I Am Legion also sent me this. This lady right here, let's see. Thierry Breton is, doesn't say what, Commissioner for Europe. Okay, so she's with the ECB, I guess. ECB. TikTok, the clock is ticking for your say on the Digital Services Act. Europe has the opportunity to set the global standard on platform regulation. Be a part of it. Deadline's midnight today. Have your say on the Digital Services Act. And here's the Digital Services Act package. The Commission has announced the Digital Services Act package. The Commission is initiating an open public consultation. But you get it. Everybody is coming together on this rate. I believe there's a reason Brad Garlinghouse said that this is the year of the digital asset. I believe that he had to know that this is the year that regulatory certainty was going to happen. That's what I believe. Okay, James Rule at Rule XRP, give him a follow. He sent me this, and I don't know how old this is or how new it is. I'm hoping it's new. World Economic Forum, Forging New Pathways, the Next Evolution of Innovation in Financial Services, part of the Future of Financial Services series prepared in collaboration with Deloitte. I want to draw your attention to page 24, the most interesting page on here, if I can get to it. Here's page 24. Access to emerging technologies will largely be controlled by a range of non-financial service providers establishing new interdependencies and opportunities for financial institutions. Right here, Ripple, DLT. And this, I would get my son to draw you guys a picture, but the picture has already been drawn. 5G, IoT. Oh, there's that word quantum again. That word keeps on popping up. And look who the IBM has a quantum, they call it their quantum computer, they call it quantum Q. But they've got this word quantum here. Might be interesting to look up some of these companies here. But they also mention it here. Look at this. The balance of power across third-party relationships will shift. Large cloud providers will continue to dominate developments in artificial intelligence as a service, either directly or by providing access to a network or fourth parties via the cloud. And then it goes on. In the long term, quantum as a service. How about that little phrase? And then down here it says, with the exception of some internal protocols, most cross-institution DLT networks will be jointly managed by a group of financial institutions, regulators, and others, creating joint governance challenges and requiring institutions to build and manage new sources of connectivity. Big time, folks. All right. Heyo Seiko Carmona sent me this, which is really interesting. Ripple's on-demand liquidity exchange, Bitstamp, integrates new matching engine from the NASDAQ. That NASDAQ is someone who I believe you're about to see enter from stage right into all of this. And remember, don't ever forget, folks, we have not had real price discovery in XRP or in many digital assets because they're not giving you on CoinMarketCap. You're not getting the feed of places like SPI virtual currencies. There's a ton of places you're not getting accurate. You're not getting all of the accurate information about those digital assets from all these other places. So it's impossible to have real price discovery. So when you start seeing NASDAQ getting involved on any level, get ready. All right. I want to show you this. This is from the little call that I did last night. I mentioned in my last video that I had talked to someone that used to work at Ripple who had talked about Chris Larsen sending people to the IMF back in the day, back in 2013. Well, listen to this clip if you want to see what is in store for you and your XRP. Because now, granted, he is saying that he believes in his lifetime that XRP, digital currencies like that will be held by central banks. But my question is this. I have two questions from this video. How does Chris Larsen have such access to the IMF in the first place? And all these people at Ripple, they have access to the Treasury and everything else. How'd that happen? And the other question I have is if in his lifetime, we're going to see digital assets and such as XRP held by central banks, what is going to happen when the average Joe public realizes and finally understands that that is going to happen? And what's going to happen to the prices of XRP once that's realized as people rush in? But he makes some excellent points in this video, and you need to listen good. If you don't listen to anything in this video, listen to this.
What I would say is I think a digital currency, and I think XRP is the best designed one to do this. An independent digital currency that can't be debased makes a lot of sense to hold in reserve, right? Like that's just, just objectively, right? I mean, you can take kind of the Bitcoin out of it, the XRP out of it, the Ethereum out of it, it doesn't matter. Like the fact that no one can mess with this thing the way you can't mess with gold is a good thing for reserves broadly, right? If things are liquid and things are stable. And that was our goal at Ripple, was to get it to be liquid enough so that folks could at least start thinking about it in that way, right? I mean, the space is so young, it's so early that, Patrick Griffin, who was my boss at Ripple and he's since left, an old Rippler, 2012, one of the first 6 or 7 folks, would tell me stories about how Chris would send him to the IMF and send him, to the BIS and send him to these places to talk about digital currencies back in 2013. And, everybody was looking at this kid who was like 28 or 29 at the time, like he had 19 heads. And, that's changed, right? And I think that's an incredible amount of progress in and of itself. I think it's inevitable that eventually we will get to a point where central banks and regular banks hold these things on reserve the same way they hold any asset, right? But here's an asset that is immutable. You can move it around easily, and is non-debasable, right? I mean, you can basically debase almost anything else. You can dig more things out of the ground. You can certainly print more money. You could borrow more money. You could do a lot of these things. You could issue more stock. I mean, you could almost, even commodities to a certain level aren't debaseable. So I think it's a really interesting kind of mental mental construct to think about. And I believe, and I always will believe this, and hopefully I'll see it come true, that in my lifetime we will see central banks hold digital currencies on reserve. And I have no reason to think that XRP wouldn't be one of those.
That's an unbelievable clip to me. Now, for those of you that don't know, Miguel Valles, when he left Ripple, he's now at this company, Link2, okay? And anything that these winners from Ripple, when they leave and they go other places, you better pay attention. That Link2, for those of you that don't know, is a platform where they sell private equity. They're selling SPVs in Ripple, Uphold, Coinbase, Link2 itself, and blockchain Coinvestors. They've sold out of Coinbase. They've sold out of Ripple multiple times, and they've sold out of Uphold. And Link2 is available on there too. They've sold a ton of that as well. But these keep selling out, and then they have to reload them on there is what I'm noticing. And so, in fact, I've got a link in my description if you want to go check Link2 out. They also have an app on iPhone and Android. You can download the app, but you have to be an accredited investor in order to buy these things. But they go about as fast as they put them up there, from what I've noticed. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. If they want to try to get into the blockchain game on another level, getting access to private equity is not easy to do, and Link2, linqto.com. That's one way to do it. Great place. Thanks for listening.
Every day, billions of people around the world are mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and embarrassed by their friends, family, and even strangers. These people go through their days knowing there are secrets being kept from them. They hear the faint whispers behind closed doors. The information and knowledge is held very close and only shared with others who were fortunate enough to find out. Feeling lost, rejected, and ostracized, these people give up, never finding out what digital assets the digital asset investor holds. But there is hope. Join the free Digital Asset Investor email newsletter and find out what digital assets he owns each month, including investments he's considering. Click the link in the description of this video or go to digitalassetinvestornewsletter.com. Put an end to your days of gloom and depression. Join the greatest free digital asset email newsletter ever created.